Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Rebellion here and I'm back with a new video. So following up with the Arklov Peak video that I did, we're going to be revisiting the maps that I've made tutorials for and showing you guys the updated ways to tube on those maps. Now, I will be leaving out 3 maps in this video, that being Grozny Raid, Crash, and Gunrunner, mainly because even despite these new changes to the initial spawns, the ways to tube on those maps remain the exact same, so there's actually nothing for me that's new or different to explain on any of those maps. So that leaves us with the remaining 4 maps, which I will be doing into one video, because I won't have to explain very long how to tube on these maps. Well, the new ways to tube on these maps. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and begin. So starting off with the first map, Azhir Cave, we're going to be going over how to tube on just the defending side for this map, because for the attacking side, even though the spawns are a little bit different with 2 guys now spawned in front of the team, the 2 ways that I've showed how to tube on this map from my original tutorial remain the exact same, so there's nothing new for me to explain here. So as you can see here on the defending side, the team is now separated into an X formation with 5 players right here, and 1 player that is spawned off on his own at the back right here. And I'll be going over how to tube from each part of the team. Okay, so if you are spawned right where I'm standing right now, this is the very front left of the team. This is what I'm considering as the sweet spot, meaning that if you spawn right here, you have the perfect lineup for both the left path and the right path on their side. So just like I showed in my original tutorial, the way you tube onto the left path is if you line up your sight with the middle leaf right here, and then aim it all the way until you are at the top of this point of the rock right there. So just like that. So that's how you tube onto the left path. And if you want to tube on the right path, you have to aim in the middle of this rock right here. Aim it all the way up until you are at the height of this leaf right here. So just like that. Yep, and that's all you need to know if you're spawned right here. So again, this is the sweet spot, meaning you have the best lineup for both sides of the map that they run onto. Okay, if you're in the middle of the team, like where I'm standing right now, all you want to do to aim down the left side path is look at the far right leaf right here of this tree, and then aim all the way up until you are at the height at the very top of this tree right here. So that would be this leaf, or I guess that leaf right there. So again, if you're in the middle of the team, look at the right leaf, aim all the way up until you're at the top of the tree right there to the left. So right about there. And then just like if you're at the front, you're going to wait for 2 seconds, and then you're going to walk forward and shoot. So this is what it should look like. 0, 1, 2. Okay, and if you do that correctly, the tube will land right here in the middle of the path. So when the attackers spawn in and run straight forward, this is where the tube will land. Hopefully getting a kill or 2 right off the bat. And to tube the enemies along the other path headed towards the cave from the same spot, what you're going to do is look at the black spot on this rock right here, and then aim all the way up until you are lined up with the top of the wooden stick coming out of the rock from right here. So again, look at the black spot on the rock right there, aim to the height of that wooden stick to the right. Okay, for this spot, you're going to wait for 3 seconds, walk forward, jump, and shoot. Like so. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if done correctly, the tube will land right here in the middle of the path headed towards the cave. Moving on to the back right of the X formation on the team. To tube down the middle or the right path on their side, you're going to look at the middle leaf right here, and then you're going to aim all the way up until you are lined up with the top of the shrub that is sticking out from behind this rock right here. So again, if you're at the back right of the X of the team, you're going to aim at the middle leaf again and aim all the way up until you line up with the top of the shrub right there. Okay, and then you're going to wait for 2 seconds and then walk forward, jump, and shoot. Like so. 0, 1, 2. Okay, if you do that correctly, the tube again will land right here in the middle path. Okay, and to tube the enemies amongst the right path or their left headed towards the cave from the same spot here. You're going to look in between the black spot on the rock right here and the left slope of the rock right there, so right in the middle of those two. And then aim all the way up until you're lined up with the top of the shrub again on the right side of that rock. So again, right in the middle of the black spot on the slope, and then aim all the way up when you're lined up with the top of the shrub right there. Okay, and for this one you're going to wait for 3 seconds, walk forward, jump, and shoot, like so. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you do that correctly, the tube will again will land right here on the left path headed towards the cave. Now going over the guy that is spawned at the back left of the exclamation on the team, which is this person right here. To tube straight down the middle, you're going to aim at this leaf sticking out of the tree right here, and look all the way up until you're lined up with the top of the leaf that is sticking out right here at the top of the tree, right there. So again, look at this leaf right here, aim all the way up, lined up with the top leaf at the left side of the tree right there. Okay, and just like the back right, you're going to wait for 1 whole second, and then run for 1 whole second, and then jump and shoot. So this is what it should look like. 0, 1, 2. Yep, so again, if done correctly, the tube will land right here, again in the middle of the path, so if you go left or right, the tube will land right there. And to shoot the tube onto the right side of the path or their left headed towards the cave, you're going to look at the middle of the left slope of this rock. So if you see this as the bottom and see this as the top, right in the middle is where you want to aim, and then aim all the way up until you are lined up with the top of the shrub right here on the right side. So again, at the middle of the left slope of this rock, aim all the way up until you're at the top of the shrub. Like so. And for this one you're going to wait for 2 seconds and then run forward for 1 second and then jump and shoot. So it should look like this. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and done correctly, the tube will land right here again on the left side of this path headed towards the cave. Now moving on to the guy that is spawned at the front right of the X formation on the team, which is this guy right here. To aim straight down the middle, you're going to look at the little leaf that is sticking from above the rock right here, and then aim all the way up until you're lined up with the top of the leaf right here, which is the highest point of the tree. So again, look at the little leaf right here, aim all the way up until you're lined up with that very tall leaf right there to the far left. Okay, for this one you're going to wait 2 seconds, walk forward, jump and shoot, like so. 0, 1, 2. Okay, and when you do that correctly, the tube will land right here along the middle path. Okay, and from this same spot to tube the enemies that are running along the left path towards the cave, you're going to look at this little black spot right here on the rock in front of you, and then aim all the way up until you are lined up with the top of the shrub again right here on the right side. So again, look at the black spot on the rock right here, line up with the top of the shrub right there to the right. Okay, for this one you're going to wait for 3 seconds, walk forward, jump and shoot, like so. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if done correctly, the tube will land right here along this path headed towards the cave. And finally, we're going to be going over the last position on the team, which is the guy that is spawned all alone from the rest of the team right over here. Okay, and from this spot to tube straight down the middle, you're going to look just to the right of the right leaf right here, so right about there, and then aim all the way up until you are lined up with the middle of this shack right here to the far right of your screen. Now this may be a little tricky if you have an optic on your gun, since it does zoom in a lot more, getting rid of the view of this to the right of your screen, and depending on the optic you're using, of course. But again, you want to look just to the right of this leaf right here, and aim up until you're in the middle of that shack right there. Okay, and just like in Arklov Peak, you're actually going to be running forward for 2 whole seconds, and then jump and shoot. Like so. 0, 1, 2. Okay, and if that is done correctly, the tube again will land right here in the middle of the path right before it splits into 2. And from the same spot to tube the enemies on the path headed towards the cave. What you're going to do is, when the timer hits 0, you're going to run up to the shadow of this blue barrel right here. And then you're going to aim up at the corner of the second layer of the rock right here. And line it up at the very top of the shrub right there to the right. Okay, so one more time. Timer hits 0, run up to the blue barrel, look up, corner of the rock, top of the shrub. And you want to do all this within about 3 to 4 seconds. So I'll do this one more time and show you an example of what it should look like in a real game. 0, 1, 2, 3. So I was able to get that off in about 3.5 seconds. So the tube should land right about here. That should give the enemies enough time to spawn in, run up the ramp, and right here where the tube will land. Hopefully stopping any enemies running towards the cave. The next map I'll be going over is Rammaza for just the defending side. As the attacking side, the way to tube from there is the exact same, so there's not much for me to explain there. But as you can see right here on the defending side, the teams are now split into 3 players on each side of the van. The right side of the team, the way you would tube, it remains the exact same as I showed from my original tutorial. So again, there's nothing new for me to explain there. My main focus will be to explain how to tube right out the start from the left side of the team. So the way you would shoot your tube in between the barbershop and the ruins on their side when you're on this side of the team, what you want to do is during the pre-game timer, you're going to look up and you're going to aim just to the right of this little cloud right here. So on the left side, as you know, you would aim just to the left of the cloud. If you're on the right side of the team, you aim just to the right of the cloud, like so. Just like that. And then when the round hits 0, the timer hits 0, you're going to shoot your tube right away, like so. And the tube will land right here in between the barbershop and the ruins in this alleyway. So again, right out the start, if you're on that side of the team and they run forward, they run left, this is where the tube will land. Again, this is a 50-50 spot, meaning that you can't get a guaranteed kill because of the EP timer. But you can still try it out if you do have 2 tubes, because if you have the second tube, you can use the other spot that I've shown before, where you can run up to these boxes right over there and shoot it to the left side of the map. So it would look something like this. And you run up to the boxes here again, aim it to the right side of the buses right there, and it should land on their side right there. So yeah, that's how you would do it if you were on the left side of the team. Now moving on to Petrograd, we're going to be mainly focused on the attacking side, as the way to tube from the defending side is pretty much the exact same and or self-explanatory, so I don't need to explain anything drastically different there. So as you can see here on the attacking side, the team is now separated into 3 columns and 2 rows. And if you are spawned at the very back of the team right here, then the way you would tube straight down the middle right at the start remains the exact same as I showed from my original tutorial. So we're going to be skipping over that and talk about how to tube if you are spawned at the front of the team right here. So if you're spawned at the front of the team like I am right now, tube the enemies on the left side of the train. What you're going to do is look in between where these 2 buildings connect, right about there, and then you're going to aim all the way up until you are just right at the top of this double line on the pole right here. Determine the height. So again, right in between where these 2 buildings connect, all the way up until you are just above the double line of the pole right there. And this is a spot where you would shoot your tube right away when the round starts, like so. Okay, and if done correctly, the tube will land right here next to the train stop and the train itself as they run straight forward when the round starts, hopefully getting a kill right off the bat. But again, this is a 50-50 spot, meaning that it is not a guaranteed kill due to the EP timer in play. But if it's not in play, then it is a very good spot to get some early kills right off the bat. And if you want to tube the enemies on the right side of the train, if you think the enemies will run on that side of the train when the round starts, what you want to do is aim at the hot dog right here sticking out of the restaurant building, and then aim all the way up. And same thing, you're going to aim just above the double lines on the pole to your left. So again, aim at the hot dog right there, and aim all the way up until you're just above the double lines on the pole right there. Once you have aimed up, again, this is where you shoot right away, like so. And if done correctly, the tube lands right here alongst this side of the train. So again, when the round starts and the enemies run on this side and run straight forward, the tube will land right here, hopefully stopping any potential players that are right here. Again, if the EP timer is not in play. If it is, then it is not a guaranteed kill. Moving on to the final map of the video, we're going to be going over how to tube on the attacking side on Atlas Superstore. As the defending side, even though the spawns are a little bit different there, the way you would tube from that side is the exact same as I showed from my original tutorial, so there's nothing new or different for me to explain there. But as you can see on the attacking side here, the teams are much more spread out now, being separated into 2 columns and 3 rows. Now if you're the guy that is spawned at the front right of the team, which is this guy right here, then you are in what I call the sweet spot, meaning that you have the best lineup for both tubing down towards the nursery section of the map and towards the freezer section of the map on their side. As I showed in my original tutorial, everything I showed while you're in this spot is still very much accurate. Now my main focus here is to talk about how to tube from every other position on this team before the round starts. So starting off from the middle right of the team, we're going to be going over how to tube towards the nursery, and that'll be for every other spot that I go over, since the second spot that I showed is the exact same no matter where you spawn, because it's well, it's using the same spot for every round. So again, this is just going over how to tube straight down the middle. So if you're in the middle right of the team, you would aim at the exact same place on the cloud as if you were in the front of the team, like that. And then when the timer hits 0, you're going to just walk forward a few feet like that, and then you're going to jump and shoot as if you were at the front of the team. So let me go over that again. So if you're in the middle of the team, just aim at the exact same place on the cloud, and then the timer hits 0, you're going to walk forward a little bit, and then you're going to jump and shoot. So this is what it should look like. 1, 2. Okay, and by doing that, you get the tube to land right here in the exact same spot as before. So again, when they open up the double doors right here and they run straight forward, this is where this tube will land. Moving on to the back right player of the team, like where I'm standing right now, and this is going to be aiming at the same exact spot as before, right there in between the top and the bottom of the arrow cloud, right here. And then when the timer hits 0, you're going to run forward a little bit now. This is so you can get yourself placed closer to where the person at the front right of the team is, so you can get the tube to land in the exact same spot. So again, if you're at the back right of the team, aim at the same place on the cloud. And when the timer hits 0, you're going to run forward a little bit this time instead of walking forward, and jumping and shooting. So this is what it should look like. 1, 2, like that. Okay, you do that. Tube again pretty much lands and almost in the exact same area. So again, if you're at the back right of the team, you just have to run forward into the spot that the front right player is, so you can shoot the same way that they would. So this is again where it should land if you do that correctly. Now starting from the left side of the team, the front left part of the team, this is where things are a little bit different now. So instead of aiming at the right angle of the arrow cloud right here, you're going to move your crosshair over a little bit more to the right at the halfway point of this long line, so right where the angle is, and at the very tip of this line, right in the middle is where you want to aim, and aim just slightly above it. So right about there. So again, if you're at the front left of the team, or the left side in general, this is where you want to aim your tube now. And then again, this is where you would just jump normally, or you wait a second half before, and then you would jump normally and shoot, like so. Okay, and if you do that correctly, the tube will land right here as the original tube placement as before if you were on the right side. So again, if you're on the left side, aim it halfway between that line in the sky. So yeah. And now going over the middle left of the team, you're going to look up again at the same point of the cloud, which is halfway of the long line right here, and aim just above it, like that. Okay, and just like in the middle right, you're going to walk forward a couple feet, stop, jump, and shoot. Like so. 0, 1. Okay, the tube lands right here, the exact same spot as all the other tubes from before. And the very back left player of the team, again, same halfway point of this line, just above it is where you want to aim. And then, just like again on the right side, you're going to run forward up to where the front left player would spawn, and then jumping and shooting. So this is what it should look like. 1, 2. So yep, all the tubes generally will land right here on the right side of the nursery section right here. So hopefully this version of Atlas Superstore does help you out in your games if you're confused on how to do it on the left side especially. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this new tutorial helpful in any way, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos just like this one for Modern Warfare, please consider subscribing to the channel as well if you have not already. With the start of Season 3 coming up, and the news of Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered coming out, they say that they're going to be releasing MW2 maps throughout the majority of this game's lifespan, since there is no multiplayer for that remastered game, which is kind of saddening to me, pretty much, because MW2 is without a doubt my favorite Call of Duty game. And whichever maps they decide to release within the coming months, you know me, I'll do my best to make sure I find out what the tubing spots are for those maps when they come out. So yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated, let's stop this conversation.